Hello, everyone. My name is Rafiq Sawaya. I am the project executive for the Entaliq in KSA challenge. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. I hope my voice is clear. Please mention in the chat box if you can hear my voice clearly. Great. So, I'd like to welcome everyone to our webinar session. We're glad to have you all over with us today, and we're glad that you found interest in the Entaliq and KSA challenge. So, this is one of the many webinar sessions we have held throughout the year, and I'm sure you guys will find it beneficial as all these other sessions, all the previous sessions have been. I also hope your registrations are going well, and if you haven't registered yet, that today's session will guide you through the process in order to complete and submit your applications successfully. I would like to ask everyone to please mute your microphones in order to allow our guest speaker today to present and to avoid any confusions or any disruptions. If you have any questions, it would be great if you could write them down in the chat box. And at the end of the presentation, we are going to tackle any question you may have about the program or about innovating or to the directed to the speakers specifically. So we will both check the chat box and try to answer as many questions as possible. Today our guest speaker is a change agent professional with 27 years of progressive leadership experience with Fortune 100 companies like Intel and Microsoft. He's also an expert in designing, developing, and leading innovation, large-scale thought leadership strategic initiatives for sustainable socio-economic impacts in collaboration with governments, multilaterals, NGOs, academia, and private industry leaders. He's also an inspiring public and thought leadership speaker and has delivered various social innovation camps to address global sustainable development goals and community challenges. So, Mr. Khalid, are you with us? Mr. Khalid Adas?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm with you, Rafiq.
Yes, great. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great. So I'm gonna leave the floor to you, and yeah. So good luck, and see you.
Thank you, Rafiq. Welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the second edition of the Airbus Aviation Innovation Entaliq in Saudi Arabia. Well, this initiative aligns strongly with Saudi Arabia ambitious vision 2030 in promoting sustainable future growth of the kingdom aviation industry by encouraging and accelerating innovation in the airspace sector. So if you have a passion in the area of airspace innovation and entrepreneurship, I believe this is your great opportunity to take your idea or business to the next level. Well, my name is Khalid. I'm a senior innovation consultant, and today it will be my pleasure to walk you through the important elements, how to create your business model canvas. So if you are applying to the challenge, I would like to go through the elements today so you'll be able to submit your plan and compete in the challenge. So with that, let's start. So business model canvas is a strategic management and lean startup templates for developing business model. It's a visual chart composed with 9 elements. It describes the value proposition, the product, the infrastructure, the customers, finance. So those 9 elements, if you look at it in 2 sides, we'll look into it today, each one by one. But this is a really great tool. This will really help you design a template in a way that is easily can describe your business model. So we'll take them one by one. So if you look at the right side of the template, most of the stuff here in the right side is looking at external factors related to your business model. And the left side, quite a lot of it, activities and infrastructure, is more of your internal related things that you have to consider with the organization. So we'll start in the beginning. On my recommendation usually to start on the top right of the canvas. So if you start looking at your customer segment. So the first thing, if any business, definitely the first question you want to ask yourself and you want to have an answer to it is, which customers that I'm trying to really serve? What is their needs? What is their pain? So this customer segment, who is it? Who is it that I'm trying to create a value? Are they like different segmentation in the business model that I'm trying? As I'm speaking, I would like you, please, if you have like some notes, take notes, like sticky notes, and just write them on bullet points. And as you identify those, the answers to those questions, you will be able to map them later on the business model canvas, and that will really help you to submit a business model canvas that composed of the great elements needed for any investor or any judge to be able to really get an idea of what you're trying to do. So customer segment, definitely one of the most important thing you want to start looking into. So who are my customers? Who are they that I'm trying? What is it they're paying? What is the pain? What is the need they have? My business, what is it the gain they're gonna get out of me? Yeah. So maybe you can also have like a segmentation of customers. For example, my customer will be based on geography or a buying behavior. It could be you can decide it's a certain age that I'm gonna address. Or economical data, for example, and you want to address maybe the business class or the economic class, or so you can make all those decisions yourself. It doesn't need to be one; it could be multiple of customer segments that you will be start looking into. And finally, in this, I will also recommend you to start always ask yourself: can we be innovative on matching our value proposition clearly to our customer needs? So when you have clear, really thoughts into the customer segments, then my recommendation would be start looking into the value proposition that your business is trying to offer. And when we talk about value proposition here, we talk about what is it that we need to deliver to the customer. How do we solve our customer problem and challenge? Ask yourself, what is unique about offering? What differentiates our offer from the competition? If you have different customer segments, what is it that each one of the customer segments, the value that I want to try to do? You can start also looking into what bundles or product services we are offering to each of those segments there. So the value proposition, you can create value on your offering in different ways. You can do it by from your how they can, and you can upsell, you can do maintenance, settlement, extension, the pricing strategy. The value proposition could be more on quantitative or qualitative way of the offering. But the collection of the product and the services the business offer to meet the needs of the customer, which really distinguish your business from the competition. And think of it, it could be not only price, it could be efficiency, it could be the overall customer experience and outcome. And we've seen many innovative companies, like we don't want to mention Apple, etc. They're creating new experiences to the customers. Third most important elements of the business plan. So you know their customers, you have a value proposition, you start thinking about what is the channel? How should I reach those customers now? So that's your channel. It's a way that you will deliver your value proposition to the target customers through different channels. Effective channel will be distributed through company value proposition in a way that are fast, efficient, and cost effective. An organization can reach its clients through its own channels, like could be like storefronts, you will open stores, or it could be through partner channels that is in the distribution or manufacturing business, or it could be a combination of both. And some key questions you want to ask yourself and start to get an answer to, maybe the sticky notes, how do we reach our customers? And in which phases of the buying cycle that we need to reach these customers? What is our customer awareness of our brand? What is the relation to us? So some example of the channels in the format of apps. It could be a telephony, like a voice call. It could be like through an email, internet-based community. You might create a community for engaging with your customers. Those community allow you to a direct interaction among different clients in the company. So different way. So again, when you're talking about this, then that leads you to the next important elements of the business model, or that relationship you want to have with the customer engagement. What is it going to look like? What type of relationship we need to establish? Should we start hiring dedicated salesperson that we have one-on-one direct relationship with the customer? Is it a type of self-service relationship that translates the indirect interaction between the company and the clients? So an organization provide the tool needed for the customers to sell themselves. Are you looking into something that can be automated services in a system similar to a self-service, but more personalized, and it has like the ability to identify individual customers, their preferences. As an example of this, and it would be like Amazon, for example, when you make a book suggestion based on the characteristic of your previous book purchase that it takes in. Some businesses, they take that customer relationship to a next level where they do like kind of co-creation. A personal relationship is created through like customer direct input in the final outcome of your product and service. So customer relationship, very important. Look into some example how you can automate them. It could be personal manual, and maybe you want to have like a 7 by 24-hour service in the communities. Now, those are really important. Start where you start looking externally at your business, and this will help you looking at the fourth element, the fifth element here, which is revenue streams. Any business, we're looking about how can we make the money. So you start looking, my customer, how are they willing to pay me? What are the ways the company can make income for each customer segment? It could be for every different customer segment, you might have a way of generating money. Some of the question is, how do we get paid? When do we get paid? It's very important. When do you get paid? What type of payments? Is it like sales? Is it licenses that we're going to offer? Is it kickbacks, a freemium model that we'll offer, then we'll make the money out of it? All those are like very important questions, in terms of what value are our customer really willing to pay for us, and how and when they will do the payment. So that will help you create what is called a revenue model and a pricing structure in a way that see where you can put your pricing strategy. Part of a discount, margin, etc. Now, if you look more on the external, this is the time where you start looking the left side of the business model, and quite a lot of the stuff here we're discussing is related to internal stuff. And the first one I would like to start looking into is key resources that you have in the company. The key resources, those resources are necessary to create value for your customers. They are considered an asset of the company. You have assets. What are needed to sustain and support the business? It could be human resources, financial capital that you have, physical places, offices, or it could be an IP, intellectual properties that you have. So list them down. Which resources that you have now and assets essential and you have it handy at this stage of your business. And those are like really kind of most important resources you look into. That makes you your capabilities, your competencies, etc. It could be like a trademark that you have in place. With this now, you will be in a really good shape in looking at the next stage of looking into the key activities that, what kind of activities you would like to do in a value proposition offer they require. My value proposition require me to do certain activities to reach those customers. And here, which are the most important activities and processes that you will take in place. How do you create value for your value proposition? So simply you want to ask yourself, how am I create the value, and what type of activities that I will be doing to help to create awareness to my customers. That could also could be through creating the value through the channels or through the revenues. So every single one of the other elements, you can create certain activities. And also ask yourself, how do you deliver those services? Is it going to be virtual, digital? Is it through like an event type of? Is it like an experience I'm creating? Or is it like a physical activities that I will be doing? And always ask a question, can I innovate here? Is there a way for me to innovate in this element? But now, any businesses, most of the businesses, you need key partners to work with you. Give us some time. Start thinking about who are our most important partners that I need to work with, and the suppliers. Is it the airline industry? Who are they? Is it the policymakers, governments? How does that create internal efficiency for me? So looking at partners, identify them, look at the suppliers, which key resources are we acquiring from our partners? The partner usually, if they can provide value, what are those value that I need? Is maybe some of the partners, they will be willing to do some activities, joint activities with your business. Identify those activities, list them down. And with that, the most important activities in executing the company value would be creating an efficient supply chain to drive your own cost down. And the last element of a business model is the cost structure, financial. And finally, we need to look into the cost structure. This describes the most important monetary, you can see, while operating under different business model. And the classes of the business structure could be cost driven. There are some fixed costs. Costs are unchanged. Could be salary of employees, rent of a space that you need. And it might be variable costs. Those costs, and it depends on the amount of production of goods or services. Start looking at what is the economy of scale. Cost goes down as you increase production. Or is it like economy of scope? Cost goes down due to incorporating other businesses, which have direct relation to the original costs. With this, and again, it's not a lot. I would definitely recommend in each one of those elements, you pinpoint the top 3, 4, maybe 2, and 3 to 5 probably bullet points that help you start shaping and looking at the whole business idea that you have. In a way, it's really appealing to someone who is looking at your business model. Now you know your customer, you know your value position, you know how you're going to reach them, which channels. You've got a clear customer engagement model in place. You identify a way that you're going to make your revenue. Oh, I'm really now aware of that my resources, what makes me strong. And again, some activities that I identify in terms of my awareness, in terms of marketing, in terms of reach, key partners that I need to work with, my cost structure. As simple as that. And if you have it as simple as that, this is how it should look, the entire canvas with all the 9 building blocks. I will stop here. So this is how it should look. And I definitely recommend each one of our participants to start taking those and applying to the channel as soon as possible. I'll stop here for any questions. So Rafiq, if you can guide me through chat, if there's any clear, any questions that we have.
If anyone has any questions concerning the business model canvas, you can please ask them on the chat box, and we would be more than happy to answer them.
Well, I'm so glad it's going so smooth. If you aware of the business model and how it works, it's very important way that Entaliq with Airbus competition is driven. It is really encourage you to take it step by step when you start working on submitting your projects. If you go to the Entaliq KSA website, there are videos that help you answer these questions. They're like a step by step. So, for example, each one of the elements I just described and discussed, it has by itself a unit, so you can track your progress there. And when you have those bullet points defined and clear, this is where you need to put them actually to be able to build your action plan and be able to really submit a complete business plan and be part of the competition. So I see a logistic question here, Rafiq, when we should submit our business model for the Entaliq KSA.
So the registration is open currently. So you may submit it anytime throughout the month. Like the registration deadline is set for the end of April. So anytime before the end of April would be great to submit your business model to the website.
It's a very good question. It's important to know the deadline.
If anyone has any more questions concerning the registration process, the building the business model canvas, please write them down in the chat box.
And by the way, there's also the website that it really has, the Entaliq website. There's quite a lot of resources there, and it has some of these deadlines, I believe, on the website.
Yes, of course. I'm gonna actually post the link to the website in the chat box for anyone to access it.
So we have a question here. Sorry, I think the voice is breaking down, but if you are not able to speak, probably maybe you can share it in the chat box. So by the time we collect the question, I also recommend everyone here, our participants, when you build your business model canvas, it's not only the first time you're going to get to those good answers. If you have a team, and I really encourage people to work with teams. And teams is innovation is a team sport, really. You might have a technical person where he has a know-how. You might have a salesperson who has sales and marketing approaches to the customer. He can get the key messages, the value proposition to speak about. The third important element of a team is a designer, so they can do the design of the shape or prototyping of the product and service. So when you have a team, I always recommend that you have a brainstorming session to nail down those 9 elements of the business canvas. And it's not the first one that works. So you can print out this template and you can put the sticky notes on it, and you can always come back and you create multi-business model canvas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until, as you can see in the top, this will get you to the ones that you're really more confident in. But you can see how easy it is. It's not like a business plan, 40 pages anymore that you need to go with it. It's a very simple way of looking at the business. It's appealing to the investors and the judges when they start looking at your project. They can get a clear idea of how valuable is the product and services that you have. It's defined, clear customer segment that you reach. It shows the money, how you're going to make the money, what is the cost, and what you're doing. So this is my always recommendation. Do it once, do it twice, or 3 times. It's so easy to do. And if you have a team with you, I believe that is a strength. I'll pause here again for any questions. So I see a question. I'll take them one by one. So we'll see a question from Hassan here. Can you give an example on how to apply this model to our project? So Hassan, if you have an idea, I believe by now you have an idea that you would like to submit on the Entaliq with Airbus and KSA. And the example would be, let's say, for example, your idea is related to the airline industry, to the passengers. So you start identifying who's my customer that you're trying to reach. What is it unique that I'm going to give them? So you fill this whole 9 elements based on the idea that you have. Maybe you already have a business, and then you start looking at the business that you have already. What is it that I can look into my business and include those 9 elements of the business model canvas? And then you take those and you fold them down, as I mentioned, like bullet point. It doesn't need to be a lot, like bullet point, small paragraph here and there. Mainly you answer the questions that I just shared with you, and you take that and you fill it and you take it to the side. And this is where the box here takes you step by step in every step of the process, where you fill and you complete your business plan. And as you finalize it, you submit it. Hopefully I was able here to answer. Ammar Asiri, he's asking, what are the files that should be submitted to the website regarding the idea? So Ammar, it's the file as this probably answered that. There's no specific format, but you can always attach. Correct me here, Rafiq, if you want to add comment to this. But as you go through the process of the web itself,
Right.
the box itself captures your input.
Basically,
Go ahead, Rafiq.
Ammar, for the attaching any document that kind of supports your idea. So depending on if you have a business plan built, or if you have a like any budgeting or prototypes, any documentation you feel would support or back up your idea, you're free to attach once you finish your application.
Good, Rafiq. Thank you. I see a question also related to the support of a business product. I believe your question here related to financial support at this stage to create a prototype or a product, right? I don't think it's right now. It's at the end. Whoever wins, actually, there will be like an incubation. Maybe Rafiq, you want to really answer that one. But at this stage, there's no financial support, but you can tap into some of the ecosystem of the partnership, which are part of this journey, because there's quite a lot of partnership really engaged into this. And here's a list of the partners that are engaged. For example, I know you guys are here through Saudi Arabian Culture Mission in the USA, most of you. They're contributing. If you are in Riyadh, for example, with the Aviation Australia Riyadh, they're offering some help. King Abdulaziz CAC, King Abdulaziz for Science and Technology, they're a partner on this. Taqniya, Iraq, if they're like a key ecosystem and a key partner contributing. So most of those partnerships, Saudi Airlines, Altran, Qutub, most of the partners, it's an ecosystem, and which this is what makes this really initiative unique, because it enrich the whole value proposition. But financial cost and straightforward to build your product at this stage, I think when you reach the stage, not really until you really reach the stage where the top, I believe, 10 will be selected and the final 3 will be incubated, and it's a journey of professional development.
Yes.
Rafiq, if you would like to add any
No,
comment.
that's basically what Entaliq mainly engenders. It's to basically provide you with the incubation opportunity to link you to some of the industry giants such as Altran, Rockwell Collins. There is no direct financial support, just like mainly we provide incubation opportunities and linking to the industry. For Amar, concerning your patent, what we recommend is you submit any solid documentation that you have right now, and see with the selection process of the ideas, maybe through the incubation, if you get selected as the top 3 winners, maybe through the incubation, because it's a long process. The incubation goes on for a while, right? So by then you would probably have your patent issued. So the incubation process is not a short period. So hopefully you'll get the chance to move forward. Otherwise, let's hope for a 3rd edition of Entaliq in KSA.
Now, let me add to Ammar, actually. I have a thought. So Ammar, I would definitely not wait for the patent to come in. See, this is the beautiful thing about this initiative. It's what you have is you have an idea, you have a patent, which is beautiful. So you know what is your value proposition. You know what you're trying to make. You know there's some the challenges and the pains that you're trying to address. It seems to me you can address that. There's a challenge, there's a problem, you can address that. So take this back, and my recommendation to Ammar, take this back on the work that you have done and put it into a business model. Okay, what did I do? What is it the challenge? What is it that I solved? And what I've solved with my patent is what is that pain? Is going to help which customers? So you can answer most of those questions now. Oh, the customer that I'm going to address is 1, 2, 3. Is government? Is it like private sectors? Is it class A? So you can identify a specific segment, and the rest of the canvas can be answered in that way. So you have a value proposition. You start thinking on it in a way that it's a business related. Yeah. So build it. I would definitely recommend you to start working in the canvas at this stage, and because waiting for the patent to be approved, yes, it's good, but at the same time, if your idea is strong, your idea is appealing, if you have worked on something really is a wow thing, it's going to interest the judges, you get an opportunity. Hopefully, I was able to really encourage you also more to be part of that. Because the problem that I see quite a lot when working with universities and students is we wait. A lot of us we're technically good. I have an engineering background, and we're technically good. We do a great project for our senior year, but we always hesitate to take this to be commercialized. And that's where when I mentioned that working with in the other side of the world, the business people, they believe, oh, I have a good idea, I build a business plan, and I go and I just sell it and I make money. So this is where I encourage have that teamwork. Get a business person, and this is where we're trying to encourage a lot of the scientists, people who are in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, to start. It's a very simple. Just answer those questions related to the business model cannabis, and I think that will put you in a position where you can start creating volume, and investors and angel investors will, oh wow, this is something that we're really looking into. Hopefully that makes sense, Amar. And any more questions from the team? So I'll share more information. Thank you. Good, Amar. I'm happy then. So for the rest of the team, also, I think one key question is always that comes in for people is how to create value. Creating value. I look in creating value in 4 boxes. You've heard of the blue ocean and the red ocean strategy, where you need to move like all the fishes in one pool. You want to move in and you create a value, and you bring the customer with them. So 4 things. Sometimes you look at any business and you say, okay, what is it? Start with looking at the left side here is something that eliminate. It's called eliminate. You reduce and you raise and you create. So first you look, what is it that I want to eliminate that exists in this? For example, which of the factors that the industry takes for granted should be eliminated? For example, when Apple they launched their product, they eliminated the USB. So if you look at if you're an Apple key, you'll look at it. There's no USB. So most people in the IT industry, I'm in the IT industry. I used to work with Intel. I go, wow, how could they do this? How could you eliminate an USB? That would not work. But eventually, the consumers, they raised more experience. Oh, they didn't realize it. They didn't realize it saves a lot of costs, but they created something different, which is the experience. So this is when we say you eliminate something that industry takes for granted. And when you look at the airspace industry, there are so many elements that are taken for granted. Then you say, okay, some of the stuff I cannot eliminate, but I can reduce. I can reduce the factors that should reduce well below the industry standard. Okay, now the value curve increases when you start raising something. Oh, some of the stuff I see now in the industry, I can definitely do additional things to make it above the average industry standard. And sometimes you create something new, which factor that should be created. So ask yourself, what is it that I can create? What is it that I can raise? What can I eliminate and what can I reduce? And with this, you should be able to create really what's called strong value proposition to the customers. I'll stop here again and see if there's some more questions that have came up. So there's a question related to KAX, King Abdulaziz patent. So yeah, the process of how King Abdulaziz, the City for Science and Technology, do. Maybe I have worked with him during my Intel careers in the past, but I wish there is someone from KAX here to answer directly your questions. But we are more than happy. Rafiq, maybe you want to take that question and maybe pass it to our partnership, see if they can help. So if I can understand your question correctly, there's a delay in the patent, it seems, before taking certification that took 2 months until now. Yeah, so there's a process. It seems like there's a process and there's a delay in the process. If you have anything that we can help you with.
Abdul Malik, I think you should direct this straight to the King Abdulaziz like institute, because the Institute of Technology, yes, KAX, because Entaliq and KSA does not really like get involved into most of the partners, doings and like the most of the partner activities. So we're just in partnership for the program.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, with all the luck with that, yeah. But in my experience with the KAX in the past, they're supportive. They have been, but maybe I don't know. We might have a stakeholder. I think Rafiq, if you have like a case, if you want, and you feel it's still delayed a lot, please put the case in email, and we'll do our best to pass it to the stakeholders that we know. Yeah. But yeah, this is a completely separate. Each ecosystem, each partner, they have a different value offering. Okay. Now, a lot of the people, they ask me when they look in the country, what is the evaluation criteria, how I will be judged, and etc. And I always kind of bring it to a very simple slide, and this is something from my side here to really share with you, and I hope you look into that can help you when you present your idea, your business to your friends. Do it to your friends, do it to your colleagues, your wife, or do it to your professor in the school. It all comes down to answering very simple, what's called a Mad Lib here. First of all, like any business, and if it's driven from a need, innovation tells you this is more sustainable and brings for it. So like three things. It could be like a market need, or it could be a technology need. But if there is a pain of the customer, and you understand it more, and you address that, this is beautiful. And when you have like an
Sorry, Mr.
understanding,
Khalid, do you hear me?
yes, yeah, hear you.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for interrupting, but the last slide, you didn't complete it. I would appreciate if you go back and you complete the 4 pillars for the creation for the value. Yes, exactly. You start with eliminate, and then you get to reduce, the raise, and the create. You didn't talk about them. And usually you did, the guys that didn't share the slides with us. That's why I'm keening about covering the subject. Thank you so much.
Oh, beautiful. Sure. No, I actually covered, but let me go that. I'll say that again. So this is something I've from practice, from experience that I've seen. A lot of people, they struggle when they wants to create value. If you remember from the business model canvas, the second element that was a value proposition. Yeah. And this is actually, there's a tool, I call it Eric tool, this tool here. This tool helps create volume. So the first one, we said clearly you want to eliminate something, and sometimes you want to reduce things in the businesses, that factors which takes it for granted, as I mentioned. Yeah. And the value creation increase when you start raising some of the elements in the businesses. For example, let's say on the airline industry, maybe the food offered in the plane, you want to raise it, you want to offer more, or maybe you want to something you want to create. There's no virtual reality on the business class. I want to offer virtual reality to the passengers in the airline. So this is kind of examples, things that you want to create. You want to create that experience. So that helps a lot create value. So people, when they pay the money, they pay the money for the value. I say an example. For example, when you go and you buy cheese or a car, each one of us pay differently for the car, the way we price it. Some people like pay 100,000, some people like 500,000, some people 20,000. So it depends, because everybody see the value different, and a lot of the value creation really nails down to things that when you look at any business or an industry, you start looking into those 4 things. You eliminate, you reduce, you eliminate and reduce. This is to save cost. Yeah. Raise and create. The right side is to create experience, to create new experience, to create more value proposition that the customer will appreciate. Hopefully that answer. But read a lot about this. This is part of what is called the Blue Ocean strategy. And just finalize this, because this is really important to you pitch. I want you to start looking at your business as, okay, my idea that I have, my company XYZ, I have developed, define it. What is it that you develop? This is your value proposition. I developed an app to help who? This is when we said the target audience. This is to help passengers, blah, blah, blah. This is to help the government to address blah, 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 etc. And what is it that you're going to solve? This is when I said it's very important to say the pain, the problem. And my secret sauce, that's where your value proposition comes in, your uniqueness. This is your level of innovation. So if you can just look at that and you can say this is like a Mad Lib, if you can do it, sometimes you can do this in a 30 seconds or a 1 minute, but always have it. Always have it ready. You don't know when the angel investments walking by you. I developed to help this target audience to solve this specific problem, and what is unique about my business is blah 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 blah. So this is a great opening statement to get you at a meeting. So back to the chat box here, and do you have any more questions? So Rafiq, there's a logistic question here to the recording of the meeting.
Hello, Talal. So basically, we record all our webinar sessions and we post them on social media. So we're gonna post it on our social media pages. Also, you can find it in the timeline. So the program timeline, if you visit our website and go to the timeline section, you can find all our recordings from the previous sessions. This session will probably be uploaded on our timeline by tomorrow or in 2 days approximately. Yes, on the Entaliq website. I can post link here.
Yep. Well, thanks, Rafiq, for taking that. And for Talal, we will recap here in the summary, and maybe in the recap, we will give you an opportunity also to summarize some of the stuff we have been discussing today. And a lot of what we discuss is related to the building a business model canvas that can help you be part of one of the requirements to be part of initiatives with the Airbus Aviation and Entaliq and KSA. And we talked a lot about what is so important called the business model canvas, the 9 elements of the business model canvas. And for Talal and for everybody here, a quick summary until we get a question. This is a great tool. It's offered for free in the web. In the past, most business people, they used to develop like a business plan, 40 pages business plan, and frankly, it's not easy. Now people don't have the time to go through reading all those. It's still important to develop a business plan, but there is an easier way of really presenting your business called through the business model canvas. And we address this on the 9 elements of the business model canvas. I said it's really a new strategic way of looking at your business. You start looking the right side, external elements related to your business idea. The left side is related to the internal elements and components of your business. And first we said, first thing you need to address, which customer, what is their pain? Then you start looking at your value proposition and how the channel, how you will reach those customers, and what kind of customer relationship you want to create. With that, you should be able to create a revenue stream, how you're going to make the money, and from each one of those customer segments that could pay for the value proposition that you're creating. When you address that, you put in sticky notes, simple bullets, clear customer segment focus, very strong value proposition. Now, bullet points, put them on the website, follow them, start looking internally. Who are my key partners that need it? What kind of key resources that I have? Do I have employees? Do I have an asset? Do I have an IP? Do I have a facility? What kind of key activities I would like to do to really with my key partners to enable me to reach the customer that can really pay for my value proposition. Now you can be able to write your cost down, 2 types of cost structure, fixed cost, variable cost, build it, have it handy, very simple way of looking at your business. It doesn't work from the first time. Get a team, brainstorm, do it once, do it twice. So easily you can build a business model canvas in probably 15 to 20 minutes. And good luck with you guys. Allah, I wish you all the luck with this. So I'll pause here again if there's any questions that have came in. So the deadline is the 21st of April now, and from now to the 21st of April, believe me, this is a lot of time to help you dig down into the business model. It's very simple. Look into it, try to answer these questions, see how you're gonna solve some of the customers. Look at the problem, identify it. What kind of customers you're gonna target, and don't say I want to target everybody. I hear that. Try to really be focused, be as much as focused as you can, because each one of you have an idea. I'm sure you're creative enough. I've worked a lot with young generations and the universities and the entrepreneurs and SMEs. So creative. We're here to just really help you connect those dots through these initiatives, amazing initiatives. It's really support a lot the entrepreneurs in Saudi Arabia, and we give it a lot to Airbus. The business model Canvas has been with potential team who are really in the back scene and helping on the platform they have for the Entaliq KSA. They're facilitating the process of developing your business model Canvas through a step-by-step process.
Okay.
Any more questions? By the way, I also recommend. I also recommend that. Sorry, someone wants to say something.
Yeah, I'm just saying thank you for your presentation. This number one, and the second part is I would appreciate if you or Mr. Rafiq or the organizer, they can send us the material as a PDF file. We can get it in our email, so it can help us to recap.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I will, Rafiq, and I will send you the slides, the updated one that I have, and you will get the opportunity to see it. I'll try also to share with you some more notes on it, but you can see each element of the business model. I can identify really for you the key, really 2 questions, and you need to answer. And believe me, if you just really do it, it's a very simple thing. Don't complicate things. For example, here, so I mean, in the first slide here, you will see the whole canvas. You'll see the whole canvas, and you can follow it. And by the way, this is already in the web. It's free. It's been offered freely in the web, so you can always search businessmodelgeneration.com. If you go to businessmodelgeneration.com, you should be able to download this, and you can type into it, and you can see a lot of those questions here. But I made it in a way it is because quite a few people they do it by mistake. They start from the top left, key partners, key activities. My recommendation, again, to you, really, do it right. Start from the top right, customers. Look at your customers. So if you follow the flow that I have put here in these slides, this really makes it so easy for you to take it to the next level. Just look at your customers, the users you are trying to serve, and give it some thought, give it something, man. Yeah. And because you're trying to deliver something to a specific segment, identify that segment. It could be a specific diversity group or geography that you want to address. Yeah? Do it, answer those questions, work on your value proposition, what makes you unique, what makes you different. Consider the last slide we just discussed, how to raise things, how to make reduce, the Eric model. Yeah. So why you want to make people to care? Believe me, people pay money because of the value. Yeah. People pay money because of the value, and we have so many examples in our life where we see people appreciate the value, and I think this is why I make it's so important. The second stage, differentiate you from the others in the market. So you have a customer. I said you have a value proposition. You want to reach those customers. Okay, good that I have a value proposition, but how can I reach the customer? So that's your channel. Email, web, direct. So start looking at your customers' engagement. What is the right way to reach them? Telephony, app, etc. Direct sales to sales. That's a customer relationship. I want to build a sales force. Direct relationship. It's very costly, so you consider that in the cost. Yeah? Because you don't just sell and leave. You want to have a customer relationship that it's continuous, it's sustainable. You want to sustain that relationship with the customer. That's why it's so important to start thinking about customer relationship. Definitely, it's all about the money. How are you going to make the money? doesn't be now, maybe this year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I will break even, but at least my services, 1, 2, 3 products, this is how I'm going to generate money, break it down for each customers. That helps people when they look at your business model. Wow, this is serious. There's some money behind it. Then we start looking more internally, the key resources that you have. It could be the people, it could be the patent, it could be the space, kind of activities you want to do. It's a marketing activity. I want to do a face-to-face activity. I want to go massive social media. I want to change a policy and the system to enable with government. And that's what I need a key partner like government to work with me or Airbus industry to help me create that to reach my customers and get my value proposition. I think those are the structure of how you do this is so important if you follow the step-by-step that we are showing here through Entaliq and KSA. And with that, you have a model. I'll stop here again for any final questions before we end. So I'm glad it's smooth. I'm glad it's making sense. And what you can also do, search in Google, search like business model in the aerospace industry. Look at your idea, do a search. Believe me, when you start just searching using those words, you'll be amazed. You'll find a lot of stuff that existed in the way that can enrich and inspire your thinking and to help you build a strong case. And hopefully you will be one of those great winners that we have. And I'm really looking forward to for all of you guys, and I wish you all the luck with this. And I hope that you build your business model accounts and you apply. And I see you on the top 10, and I see your ideas get created. And at any time, if you need any help, I'm available. By the way, more than happy to help as appropriate.
So there's a question here. I was wondering if the competition is only specialized in airplanes. In particular, my project this is in the spacecraft field. So mainly it's an aerospace challenge, focusing more on aviation, because most of our partners. So basically, it's an initiative built by Airbus. So it focuses more on aviation with partnerships with other companies that focus more on the aviation sector. So I hope that answers your question.
There's a big list actually of where I know I saw a list somewhere, Rafiq, where they can compete. It's so open. It's so much things that you can do. Really mechanical. I've seen like about 7, 8 different categories. I don't know if you have that, Rafiq. Is it in the website? I'm not sure if that's in the website and the category.
I don't think
Is
these
it
are
published?
the fields that the partners are willing to incubate in. So I don't know if I can share it here, but like mainly they focus more on like the aerospace industry. It
I
can
see.
be on unmanned aircraft systems like drones, or it can be on customer experience in airlines, flight entertainment systems, operations and maintenance, manufacturing, engineering, software development, air traffic management, air navigation services. So it's kind of broad on the aerospace sector. I don't know about like spacecraft, but it's more a challenge more centered around aerospace, not strictly aviation, but more into aerospace.
Good. Yeah, thanks, Rafiq. So that's really quite a lot. Yeah, that's can really open up to quite a lot of ideas to be part of that. Talal, you'd like to reach me? More than happy to share my contacts. So in any way that I can volunteer and help support entrepreneurs, I'm always there. Yeah. I will drop my. Is there like Rafiq? Is there a way that you want to share my email? Okay, so Entaliq. Okay, attention. Thank you. That's a good one. Thanks a lot, Rafiq, for sharing.
Yes. So we're We're very direct on answering questions. Any questions, email to entaliq@potential.com.
So I wonder where you guys are on which stage on building your business model. If you've been already part of this, please take it serious. Spend the next half an hour on this, and believe me, you should be at least completing your project, and you will love it. You just do the first one, throw it again, tear it, and do the second one. By the third time you do the business model canvas, you get to know it more. Get to do get a team. I definitely encourage having like a three parts on the team, like a designer, a techie, and a business mentality. That does really enrich, and also it helps you a lot actually in the final. You know, when you stand in front of the judges, usually it's about a team. You know. That doesn't mean individuals cannot do it alone. I know it's open to individuals, but working with a team is always my recommendation because I always believe innovation is a team sport. Yeah, and that's my personal recommendation here. With that, I really would like to thank everybody, and all your questions were valuable, and I'm so happy I was part of this, and I inspire you. I've seen last year, and I know how it changed quite a lot of the entrepreneurs or the young generation, how it inspired them. This type of thought leadership initiatives, I highly supported here by a lot of stakeholders. Take the opportunity, learn from it, do your best, build the business model canvas, and always have that wish where hopefully you will be one of the selected top 10 that you can make it to the final incubation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khaled. It was a brilliant presentation, to be honest. It was great having you with us as well. I'm sure everyone has found it beneficial and very inspiring. So if anyone has missed the session, we also have a recording that we will be posting online and on our website. And yeah, any questions, you can email us at entaliq@potential.com. And I guess we can end the session here then.
All right. Thank you very much.
All
Good
right.
luck, y'all.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.